Ji Assalamu alaikum. Zubair Hussain is here. The second topic which I choose from the learning technique point of view, the name of the topic is labor market. My dear students, this is very important topic, right? In recently, Feb March 24, a past paper question, the introduction of trade union into perfectly competitive labor market will always lead to higher wages, higher wage level, and higher level of unemployment, right? So this question belong to this topic. So from the learning technique point of view, the first point you must have to consider, or you must have to make concept, that is about the definition of the perfect labor market with its assumptions, right? The perfect labor market is the market where the wages are settled through the forces of supply and demand, and its assumptions in the form of labor is homogeneous, the existence of perfect knowledge, right? No government intervention in the settlement of the wage, right, etc. And the firms are very important point, and the firms are wage taker. Okay, with these assumptions, you have to proceed with the question, with the answer, right? In the next step, you must have to draw the diagram, right? You must have to know how to draw the diagram in which wages are settled through the forces of supply and demand. One thing you must have to keep in your mind, students, this diagram, right, in which demand for labor and supply of labor, where they meet to each other, equilibrium exists in the labor market, and wage rate is settled, right? And then you must have to draw the diagram, marginal revenue product of labor, right? So this diagram you must have to draw if you want to get full marks, if you want to get better marks in your paper, in your answer, right? Okay, so after the drawing of the diagram, this diagram basically shows how the wages are to be settled in the perfect labor market, right? Then the third step, when trade union will intervene. Secondly, when the government will intervene. These are the two forces, right, which make perfect labor market to imperfect labor market, right? ये वो दो फोर्सेस हैं जो परफेक्ट लेबर मार्केट को इम्परफेक्ट लेबर मार्केट बनाती हैं. अब आपको इसका कॉन्सेप्ट अपने डायग्राम के थ्रू देना है कि इफ द ट्रेड यूनियन विल एंटर, ठीक है, सपोज दैट टू द ट्रेड यूनियन दिस वेज रेट इज नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल, W1, right? So trade union will force the firms to introduce this wage rate, W2, right? So what will be the effect of this one? Of course, the unemployment level will increase, right? One will be the disadvantage, and one will be the advantage. Advantage is in the form of increase in the wage rates, increase in the monetary benefit, right? Secondly, from the government point of view, when the government introduce minimum wage rate, and minimum wage rate, W2 is the minimum wage rate, right? So at the third step, you must have to take this concept from this topic. Okay, then proceeding, as we proceed towards the topic labor market, and the next step, you must have to develop your learning about the wage determination in the imperfect market with comparison, and wage determination in the imperfect market. So you write here about the monopsony, right? Monopsonist, how the wage is settled by the monopsonist, and how the wage is settled in a perfect labor market. What is the difference? What is the difference of the employment level in both cases? ये पॉइंट आपको आना चाहिए, ठीक है? इसकी आपको जो है वो इसकी डायग्राम की एक्सप्लेनेशन आपको आनी चाहिए, इसकी डायग्राम ड्रॉ करनी आनी चाहिए, ये पॉइंट आना चाहिए। इसके बाद प्रोसीड करते हैं। ये डायग्राम बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट डायग्राम स्टूडेंट्स, ठीक है। दिस डायग्राम बेसिकली शोज दैट द monopsonist pay lower wage rate W1, right, and employ less quantity of labor as compared to in the perfect market where high wage rate is to be paid to the workers and more employment in the labor market, right? So this diagram you must have to draw. इसका कॉन्सेप्ट आपको आना चाहिए, right? अब फर्दर प्रोसीड करते हैं बेटा बायोलैटरल मोनोपोली पे, where there is a single trade union and a single employer, right? So in this case, if the trade union intervene, if the trade union negotiate with the employer, single employer, what are the consequences? So ये वो पॉइंट्स हैं, अगर इस टॉपिक में आपने इन पॉइंट्स को कंसिडर कर लिया, ठीक है। सो दिस डायग्राम इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम द बायोलैटरल मोनोपोली पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, ठीक है। सो इन पॉइंट्स को अगर आपने कंसिडर कर लिया तो बेटा कोई भी क्वेश्चन आ जाए, एनी टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन, आप उसको जो है वो आपको उसको आप डील कर सकते हैं इजीली, आपके पास कॉन्फिडेंस होगा उसको डील करने का। लेकिन अगर ये पॉइंट्स आपको नहीं आते, इनका कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है आपके पास, तो फिर इस टॉपिक से आपके लिए क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करना बेटे दैट वुड बिकम अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट, ठीक है। तो रिकॉल करता हूं, तो रिकॉल में आपके पास परफेक्ट लेबर मार्केट की डेफिनेशन विद इट्स अजम्पशंस, ठीक है, हाउ टू ड्रॉ द डायग्राम एंड हाउ द वेजेस आर टू बी सेटल्ड इन द परफेक्ट लेबर मार्केट, then proceed towards the imperfect labor market with the intervention of trade union or government, right? Then afterward comparison of the monopsony and perfect labor market, right? Then afterward bilateral monopoly. These are the points बेटे। अगर इन पॉइंट्स को आपको, इन पॉइंट्स पे आपकी ग्रिप है, इनके कॉन्सेप्ट आपके पास हैं, तो ये टॉपिक आपके लिए, इसमें से किसी टाइप से भी क्वेश्चन जो है वो डेवलप होता है तो आपको उसको सॉल्व करना आपके लिए दैट्स नॉट बिग डील, राइट।